Hello everybody, welcome to Marty Motoring. Today I'm installing a new exhaust system on my supercharged Lexus IS 350. So welcome back to the channel. Today we have my Lexus IS 350 on the lift and we're going to be changing out the exhaust system for something new. Now currently I have PPE catless headers, an NVIDIA mid-pipe, and a Megan Racing axle back. This setup is a little restrictive because it goes 2 into 1, back into 2. It's very open, very loud, very raspy. It's just not what I would like for my car long term. And also it is probably, because it's restrictive, cutting down on power. So in order to make the most horsepower and have the best sound, I decided to upgrade to an XFORCE catback system for the IS 350. Now there are two types of exhaust that they make for the IS 350. There is a version without the Varex mufflers, and there's the version with the Varex mufflers, which have a valve that's electronic that opens and closes, which is the one I have and will be installing today. I'm pretty excited because I'll have control whether to open or close the valves, affecting the sound louder or softer, and it's just gonna be really nice to have that control and a fresh exhaust system. So the install should be pretty straightforward. I'm gonna kind of walk you through the steps as best as I can. I do have to do one custom modification to a little piece of the exhaust because of my supercharger, which I'll show you, but most people should not have to do that without a supercharger. So let's dive in, let's get it unboxed, then we can make the modification and install this XFORCE catback exhaust system. So this system comes in two boxes. One has all the piping and the dual exhaust the whole way back, and the other one has the mufflers with the Varex system. There's also gaskets and hardware included. So let's open this up, get it on the table piece by piece, and I can show you what's in the box. In the box, everything is wrapped very nicely with some bubble wrap, and everything's packed really nicely too. This was shipped to my house, and a huge shout out to XFORCE for sending me this. I'm really excited to get it installed and increase the performance of my car. So here you have one side, you have your O2 sensor bung, and of course the other side. All the welds look really nice, just really quality work here. We have our box of hardware, another pipe, another pipe. We have clamps that looks like it's for the mufflers, so we'll set these aside for now. And our mid-pipe section. All right, and here is one of two mufflers. It doesn't look like there's any tips, so we'll figure that out. Maybe we can weld our own on there. So coming to you from the future, I did find the tips. They were in a box that I somehow missed in the biggest box, and they look really nice. They say XFORCE on them. They are angled for each side. Looks like tip R for tip right, tip L for tip left. So they are labeled, super nice, so we're gonna put those on. But there is the Varex system that controls the valve. Now this is 12 volt, I believe. There's a 12 volt adapter, or we can wire it up to something else. Just as long as we get it power, then we can use the included remotes and be able to open and close the valve that is in here. There's a little box inside the muffler box, and it has the Varex controller with the two remotes, as well as the wiring. So that's gonna be kind of the last step. Inside this little box, there is hardware and a bunch of gaskets that we're gonna need. So it comes with everything. Now we just have to piece it together. I also ordered a bung to weld on. Now this is the modification I mentioned. On one of these front pipes, I'm gonna have to weld an extra hole besides the O2 sensor for my wideband. So that tracks the air-fuel ratio. I need that for my supercharger, so we can easily get this welded on. Luckily, I know somebody in the building that can weld this, so that'll be part of the process. So here's my current exhaust. Like I said, Megan Racing, axle back, NVIDIA mid-pipe, and PPE headers. But we're doing the whole mid-pipe back, and this stuff should come off pretty easy. I've had it off once before, so let's just get that off. We're gonna have to get the O2 sensors off first, so we'll need an O2 sensor tool. Also, you'll notice this lift isn't very high off the ground because there is a low ceiling. So you can see here on the driver's side, there is the mid-pipe to a clamp style bung, but I think we're gonna do a welded style just for added reinforcement. There's nothing wrong with this. You can see it's before the O2 sensor, so we're gonna do the same thing on my pipe, but of course you don't have to worry about this if you are not supercharged. So here are the front two pieces. They come off of the header. There will be a gasket on each one and then hardware, just like how we unbolted the other one. And then the O2 sensors go here. This faces to the outside of the vehicle towards the doors. And then this section is gonna go to the mid pipe. And we're gonna fit it up in there, put gaskets through everything, put the hardware. Interesting thing about this, it says Varex on the bottom and not XFORCE. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So I managed to get the center resonator piece in by removing this, putting the exhaust in place and then putting it back. And now we can move on to the pipes and the mufflers. And we're gonna leave the front section for last because that's where I need the welding to be done. All right, so now we have the mid pipe in just kind of sitting here. These just loosely bolted on, and these are the back pieces that go to the muffler. I just hung them from the hardware here. It looks like they also connect somehow here. So now that we have the resonator midsection on, we don't have the mufflers or these pipes that connect to the headers yet. I do need to use this bung and weld it on here before the O2 sensor for my wideband. Now, most people won't need to do this. Like I said, this is for my Supercharged setup for the air-fuel ratio of the wideband sensor. So I think we're gonna put it right about here, and my friend Freddie is gonna weld this up. All right. So it's now 11 p.m. We started this, I think, at 6 p.m. So been taking our time, getting things done. But overall, it's going really well. Got everything bolted up but one muffler. And here you can see the system all the way from the front. Got the O2 sensors in, got the wideband sensor in, piping all the way back. Everything's tightened up except for the muffler area. So now we put the mufflers in. They sit at kind of an angle, but we figured out the brackets, and then the tips will go right here. Just because it's late, we'll probably end up doing the Varex kind of electronics part later. I'll probably run a positive wire, hook it up to it, and then we'll be in business. Moment of truth. Here is the finished install of the muffler. We got the tips on, the mufflers. Goes here to the resonators, up to the mid-pipe section, and to the headers. So now that the exhaust is on, we're gonna call it a night, but next in this video, we're gonna wire up the Varex controller and wiring and remotes, so stay tuned. It's about a week later and I'm finally getting to work on the car again. Today, we're gonna focus on wiring it up. The exhaust is on and it's closed and it sounds great, but now I want to be able to open the valves with the remote, so we're going to wire that up today and then hopefully have some great sound clips to show you, and I can show you how it works. So first, let's take a look at what comes in the box on the table, and then we'll go over to the car and start wiring it up. So here is the Varex box that everything plugs into, along with the two remotes that will allow me to control everything. Along with the wiring, there's a cigarette lighter plug. The white plug goes into the Varex box, and the other two plugs go into the mufflers. So here's my trunk. Everything is out of here, like the spare tire, the carpet, and the floorboard. So I just have this with the Varex controller and wiring. So these two plugs go to the mufflers. The grommet in here, I did find one directly below. I'm gonna see if I can feed these through there and to the respective mufflers. Now this one looks like it goes a little longer, so we're probably gonna wanna go on the driver's side and do this. All right, so there is a grommet here, which I think the instructions said to use, but I actually wanted to use this one. Just right below, I fed the wires through. I can actually cut a slit in this grommet to allow this wire to pass through, and it still seals. And then on the bottom side, I can use silicone or something else, and I can secure the wires with tape or something like that. So I will do that, but for now I'm gonna wire it up just to test it out. And then you see here on the bottom side, the wires are coming out from the bottom plastic piece, and we can hook them into each muffler. In order to test this, I did something very simple. I have it plugged into the mufflers in the back. I ran it through the center armrest area, the pass-through, and the back seat, and with the box and everything, ran it up here to the front seat. And I have it plugged in to the 12-volt cigarette lighter outlet here. Now, this is not going to be the final location. This was just to test it. I'm going to find a better way to mount this and a better place and location to make it nice and clean. And then I'm also going to find a better location to power this from. So either with the wiring from here, tapping into it, or maybe a fuse from the hood. And I want to tuck this all in and just make it nice and clean. But just for this video purposes and for the sake of time, I'll just show you how it works now that it's plugged in. Now everything is hooked up. Of course, it's not in this final location, like I said. We have the remotes with an A and a B button. So let's go to the back of the car and see what this actually does. Here at the back of the car, you can see in the closed position and the open position. Closed and open. So obviously this is going to sound a lot different depending if you have it closed on idle or, you know, maybe open on full acceleration. So let's go outside and see how it sounds. Nice and quiet on with the closed. Definitely more volume. So that's the install. Definitely consult the instructions for specific things like wiring the valves up. We didn't do it exactly the right way. By no means am I a professional, but I did it to where it works and we tested it. Of course, I am going to go back and make everything perfect and look how it should. This was just to show you how it works and have it all hooked up. But big thanks to XFORCE for sending me this. This is the XFORCE Varex system for the IS350. Definitely drop in the comments what you think of the sound, open, closed. Be sure to check out their website for the non-Varex system and the Varex system like I have. And they're the only true dual system I know of for the Lexus IS350 second generation. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Thank you for watching Marty Motoring. And as always, keep those wheels turning.